Madam Mayor, it is 9:02 and we are live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the agenda meeting of October 30th, 29th, October 29th, 2025. Can I have the roll call, please?
Mayor Betty Resch.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sarah Maliga.
Present.
Commissioner Christopher McFoy, I don't see yet. Commissioner Mimi May was here. She was here. And Commissioner Anthony Segrich.
Present.
Great. Good morning, everyone. I have a couple of things about the upcoming agenda that I'd like to ask about just to start off. Usually I start off asking everybody else, but as I read through it, there were a couple of things I had a question about. And I wish Mimi would come back. Oh, there she is. There she is.
Miss Val, sorry, I'm just trying.
Welcome back. Welcome back. One of the things that we talked about, we have a fee schedule on, on the agenda, and we have the question of for the children, wanting the different fee waivers, and we don't really have a policy for fee waivers. And when I look at the fee schedule that we have, we say $150 an hour, whatever it is. I have a question, actually, Stuart, you may be able to answer this question, but maybe not.
Sure.
Do we ever have we ever gotten a request from a from a profit corporation asking for some sort of, paying the full fee? Does anybody ever pay the full fee? Sarah, I see your hand is up, but I'm talking to.
Yeah, so we receive payments in full on a regular basis. So,
From who?
I'd have to pull it. I couldn't like speak to specific, entities.
And
I don't have it in front of me.
No, and I don't believe in pop quizzing people, but if you could sort of look into that, because I'd like to find out if we do have people paying the full rate, mazel tov, that's great. But I really wanted to wonder about that because, we have nonprofits that serve our kids that, we have Head Start that pays $2,300 a month. So I'd like to sort of get some kind of basis for how we handle it. Sarah?
Thank you, ma'am. I too have a concern, and my concern has been expressed to the neighborhood association as well, because they want to be able to use our facilities for free. But we have just put a ton of money into the Osmore community, into the gymnasium next. We're redoing the youth empowerment. And, it's going to cost us electric. It's going to cost us the staff opening and closing. So I'm in favor of something being lowered, but I'm not in favor of free, because that's not fair to other entities and other neighborhood associations who don't get that. There's also another one on there, Mayor, that somebody wants to use the ballroom for a fundraiser.
Yeah.
My question was, are they residents?
I'm sorry?
Are they residents of Lake Worth Beach?
Well,
does she teach in Lake Worth Beach? There's no backup. And they want us to waive the insurance and cover the other insurance costs. That's not how we run our city.
Okay. That the woman was a teacher at Highland. That's where that was came from.
But are these Lake Worth Beach people who are asking, does she live in Lake Worth Beach? Because if she taught at Highland, but she lived in Palm Springs, and
she served, on the other. Good.
I just don't think that if you're a resident of Lake Worth Beach or you're a nonprofit of Lake Worth Beach, I think that, that there is something that we need to come up with as a policy. But even having us cover your insurance and they want the entire $1,800+ waived and they didn't even give a good faith deposit, that to me isn't us running a good business, because it costs us staff time and resources.
Right. I don't know if she lives in Lake Worth, but I know that she just, playing devil's advocate, she served the children of Lake Worth for many, many years. I'll let the record reflect that Mr. McFoy has joined us. Mr. Segrich.
Thank you, Mayor. I share some of the same concerns that Sarah had, so I won't repeat them. I did have a question for staff, and forgive me if this was already answered. Where are we at with the RFP for the ballroom? Do we have a scheduled date for that to have gone out? Has it already gone out?
He may have to look into that.
I'll have to follow up on that, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Mayor, I did want to, just for clarity, So you had mentioned Head Start. The difference there is we have an actual contract with them.
Mhm.
So that was an actual contract we have, but a majority of people they pay the actual fees we have in the fee schedule. So the reason you're seeing these waivers is because staff does not have the ability to discount or give any different rate than the actual fee schedule you guys approve in the budget. So what's in that fee schedule is what we have to go by. We don't have the ability to say, well, we'll cut it 25%, we'll cut it 50%. It's
Understood.
whatever.
Right.
And
That's why I brought it up.
if there's anyone asking for something different, though, that has to come back to you guys to approve. So what I talked to Stuart about when we're working on is coming up with a criteria that we can get to you guys, so you guys can make a decision on what should these waivers, sorry, how should they come forward? Like there should be a criteria. Does it have to be a nonprofit? If so, do they have to live in the city? If so, do they kind of like a checklist? And if they don't meet what's on that checklist, then it won't even make it to an agenda meeting. Because what I don't want is now we kind of open the floodgates, and every meeting we have 5 or 6 of these waivers that you guys now have to consider. So we need to put something together to kind of cipher some of these out.
For the children, it would be I mean, that's an ongoing thing. So it would be more like Head Start than just a one-off event, correct?
That's not what they're asking for. They're just asking to waive everything. So if they waive everything, there is no contract. They're just there. But yeah, if it was the case, yeah, we would need to put something together just so we have something as far as insurance and all that other stuff. But yeah, it's a complete waiver.
Staff recommended $4,800 a month, I think. 2 hours, 5 times a day. They're requesting $4,800 a month, I think, for the children. I think that was their request. Or are they asking for? As I read it, that's what I have in my notes.
No, if you look at the waiver, they're asking for to pay 0.
Well, is there any? Raise your hand if you support having a 0 amount. Sarah?
Oh, I raised my hand beforehand. No.
No, I know, right? I don't think there's any political will to give them a free ride.
I don't think that's fair or inclusive.
Right.
I mean, I love for the children, but they also want a key to all of our buildings, which I've been telling them for 3 years. No, you can't just have keys to our buildings. That's a liability.
It's ridiculous.
And until we as a commission make that decision, they're going to keep asking staff, why can't we get a key? Well, that's because that's how things were done 10 years ago. It's not like that now.
Right.
But I agree that we need to discount it, negotiate something, and have a legal written document drawn up and make sure that we are covered for liability.
Because they want this full time. This is not just like every other, they want this as a regular thing, which uses our facility on a regular basis. So I think if we're going to agree to some sort of amount, it would be a contract. Elizabeth, am I wrong? If it's an ongoing thing, we would need to have a contract with them like we do with Head Start.
It would be preferred.
Right.
They have typically done just, the regular hourly rentals, and that is an option. So that's what they've asked to continue doing.
Okay. I mean, we should show them, the nonprofits do work, and we do, we do show grace to, my stuff, excuse me. Well, excuse me.
God bless you.
She's deaf, so if I say be quiet.
Oh, I thought you sneezed.
Okay. We're fine. Scare them away. We're safe now. No, thanks. I have a coffee. Can you? Yo, sorry about that. Yeah. So we've waived fees for different people at different times, right? For Benny's. So I think we should show them some grace, but I don't think it should be fair. Mr. McFoy, excuse me. I'm just. No. Mr. McVoy?
Oh, we thought you were sneezing, but I think you were talking to the dog.
Dogs, yeah.
Gesundheit to both of you.
Thank you.
As I think won't come as a surprise to anybody, I'm very supportive of especially early learning educational things and any form of educational things in the city. And I would draw to our attention, I don't know if it's directly relevant, but it's important for us to know, and it's something I only learned very recently, that the Head Start program, the federal funding for it, is being cut drastically. And I had not heard that. I was at an Early Learning Coalition meeting that of a lot of directors of early learning folks, and learned it after that. I don't know how that's affecting the one here in Lake Worth, but that's a big concern. My only comment on within the context of supporting educational things is that whatever we do, we should do evenly and fairly and with some sort of procedure to the various different organizations that there are. Because there's more than you think, I've learned.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And Mr. McFoy, you know, when you say something like, I'm interested, I'm very interested in early education, we all are, okay? You're not alone. So I just want to point
No,
that out. Mr. Brown, your hand is up.
I
You do it a
didn't
lot,
imply
Chris.
that anybody
You
else
do it
wasn't. I
often,
just
Chris.
am.
Hey,
Mr.
Mayor.
Brown?
Just a reminder, on page 9 of 78 in your schedule of fees book, there is under recreation, under the different facilities you can rent, there's a resident rate, a nonprofit rate, a non-resident rate. So we already have those broken out.
On the fee schedule? It's on the fee schedule?
Yeah.
In your fee schedule books, if you look on page 9 of 78, it's got the different facilities you can rent, and it is broken out in nonprofit and resident rate and non-resident rate.
Do you have it in front of you?
I do.
What's the nonprofit rate for the gym then?
So the gym, if you're a resident, is $150. Nonprofit is $175, and non-resident is $250.
Okay.
An hour.
So I guess then we say, I mean, it seems like we're saying for the children, here's the rate for the nonprofit, pay the rate for the nonprofit. Sarah, I see your hands up.
Thank you. Unless they'd be willing to do a lease contract, I think that's what we have to have that conversation, like you said, Mayor, for the total amount divided out by monthly. And this is the first year where we broke out a nonprofit on the fee schedule. So maybe we need to change that nonprofit to Lake Worth Beach nonprofit. So we don't have, like Jamie just said, 15 requests in the next 2 months for nonprofits that are not in our city.
That's a good idea.
I think we need to specify that for Lake Worth Beach nonprofits.
Okay, do we have?
Yeah, but are we doing
Mimi?
the ones that service Lake Worth Beach or that are located in Lake Worth Beach? I think we need to be really specific when we say that.
I would say located in Lake
And
Worth.
I don't care which way, but it needs to be
Let's
the
have one
ones
at a
that
time.
service Lake Worth Beach.
I would say those who are in Lake Worth Beach, because technically every nonprofit in Palm Beach County and even in the state of Florida could service somebody in Lake Worth Beach.
Well, I think we can be more cognizant than that, because I mean, for the children, they're in like Head Start, their offices are not in Lake Worth Beach.
Right.
It's on Forest Hill Boulevard. So
that's my point.
Stuart, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, just 2 comments. We do have a draft policy on waiver consideration, and the way we crafted it, it's with the city attorney and the city manager, but it's a data-driven decision, right? Looking at financials is the way forward. So there is a draft. It's obviously not approved yet, but we do have a draft. And then just to answer the question from Commissioner Segrich, the ITN, I would say it's about 80% complete. I've been working with Valentina. They've done a lion's share of the work. It's a 32-page draft. It's on my desk. We pretty much just need to massage the timetable for submissions, and then I'll take it to the city manager's office. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. McFoy, your hands up.
I would second what Commissioner May said, that one, and I think you did too, as Mayor, that in deciding, in or out, let's be thoughtful of if they primarily serve Lake Worth residents or if they're physically based here. There might be a couple different ways. So let's be, give that some thought as to how to distinguish.
Okay, do we have consensus then to make it more specific about Lake, to change the language of the fee schedule? Is there consensus to just, I see Mimi, yes, Anthony?
Yes.
Sarah suggested, so I'm thinking yes. Mr. Segrich?
I don't think it should be specific to Lake Worth Beach.
Okay, so, but there's consensus to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sort of, it's now 9:15. I have a couple of things I want to talk about. One thing about I'm gonna bring up the park ranger. I printed out, I did some research and I printed out, what is the duties of a park ranger? And I think when I read the agenda item, it's not as specific as it talks about the schedule of 90 days, 60 days, but it doesn't say like what they're going to do. Nowhere in that, maybe it's somewhere else, but no, it says, park ranger, but it doesn't really specifically lay out, what they're going to do. Are they going to, I would like it to, I'm hoping, and perhaps I'm just don't know about it yet, Stuart, that, or Jamie, that we are more specific about the duties. And I'll meet with one-on-one today, but it says, first 120 days training. What are they being certified as? I guess is my question, number one, because it talks about certification. And what do we, I think we need more specifics about what they're doing and what their role will be, rather than just, what
Madam Mayor?
certification is it? I'm going to call on Mr. Who's talking?
That's Vice Mayor Maliga. My hand was up.
Okay, I know, but so I always try to get staff because they can answer questions. I'll call on you after Mr. Sword. Mr. Sword?
Yes, just to follow up on that. So I think the job description, that one document you're looking at is kind of like the framework document, if you will, the cost estimates, really what's gonna be the deliverable at 90, 120, 180 days. So the job description does have all that. And really the approach was education and then going through the Florida code enforcement training. That's all oftentimes kind of a slow roll because it's a slot allocation. So ideally we hire the manager first and the manager helps kind of build out that. And we have already received some essentially unsolicited resumes that have been dropped off from folks that have been laid off, furloughed, let go from the federal park side that do have very robust experience in parks ranger systems. So the job description will have those answers, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And with the certification, it says a code enforcement officer?
Yes, they would go to the same training that code enforcement would go, so they have the ability to issue citations.
Okay, not arrest powers, but citations. And a citation would be in somebody's in the park littering. Would
Correct,
that be something
literally, really just the ability, and we already have a draft of what citations we think they should be able to issue. The drone enforcement would be another one, littering.
I'll meet with you privately and then get more information rather than spending a lot of time here. Mr. McVoy, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just want to say, as I've mentioned at a number of meetings, I was there again. I've been there again a number of times recently because the weather has cooled off and we're back to doing yoga in Bryant Park. And I am absolutely opposed to the expenditure of $500,000 or approaching $500,000 for park rangers. And I do support that if you're going to mess with it, at least have a very clear job description before we vote to approve money for it, a very clear distinguishing between what PBSO does, what the ground staff do, what code enforcement officers do. Looking at Bryant Park and being there for 2 hours, I see mostly older folks walking there singly. I see women walking there singly. I see people walking dogs, sometimes on leashes, sometimes not on leashes. I've never seen problems. I've stopped in at the South Pavilion. There are people there, but occasionally, but there are people using the park. I think we could accomplish, A, I don't see a problem mostly, and B, or almost exclusively, I don't see a problem, and B, whatever a little bit of encouragement of, hey, certain things probably shouldn't be happening, could happen through simply the ground staff talking to people, or PBSO swings by there once in a while, or I saw a golf cart type vehicle of, I don't know, some form of public works staff, I guess. It just, to spend that money on that kind of money on something that's a non-problem, when we have other real problems, I don't see it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Sigridge.
Thank you, Mayor. I would encourage my colleague to request the PBSO stats for the number of arrests in our parks and the nature of those arrests. I think you'll find that there actually are problems. I would call your attention to one particular arrest where a gentleman strapped a knife onto a 6-foot pole who was mentally disturbed and tried to attack people in that park. And I'm not saying our park rangers are going to try to handle such things, but there are real problems in our parks. There are I almost on the daily, I send things to Public Works, and Jamie can attest to that, of issues that we see as we walk through the parks and so on. So I am in support of it. I would like to see if we do have a draft of a job description, or the other drafts, Stuart, that you were talking about. I would love to see those included in the backup, because our residents ask questions. We on the commission have access to you guys and can get a lot of answers before the meeting. Our residents do not. So if there is a draft document that could shed clarity on the exact role and responsibilities as we see it today, I think that would be very helpful for them. And that's my only ask on this particular topic.
Great, thank you. Okay, I've sort of dominated that. It's 9:23. So what else? What does anybody else have questions about today? I'm sorry. I just had those few. Anybody?
Yep.
Sarah. Sarah's
Thank you.
hand is up, and Anthony.
So under rules and procedures, I would like us to come up with a policy for.
We can having trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Under rules and procedures, I would like us to come up with a policy when it comes to addressing the media as a sitting commissioner, sitting vice mayor, or sitting mayor. I don't believe that any one of us should go before a camera under that title and represent us as a body in any conversations that are being had with the media. And unfortunately, in the last week, Mr. McVoy has had airtime with a local news station that ran probably 6 times over the weekend, talking about the behaviors of law enforcement and sharing video that he had actually posted on his personal phone with the media, and as Commissioner Chris McVoy, not as Mr. McVoy who lives in Lake Worth Beach. And unfortunately, I have gotten some negative feedback asking if I feel the same way. And I don't think that that's fair for any of us to go before a camera and condone or not support behavior of any other agencies. So I think that that's really missing from our language, and I would like to see if we can get support. And if we don't do things as a body, and we don't have a consensus to address things as a body when it comes to the media, I don't think that any of us should be stepping before the media. I had a request, and so did the mayor this weekend, in regards to some things that had happened in my district. And I had a conversation with PBSO prior to, and I asked the news to reach out to PBSO. I was not going to have a comment, and the mayor did the same thing. So I just think that I would like to see some kind of language brought before us when it comes to our rules and procedures of the body.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Segridge. Are you addressing that?
Yeah, I had a comment on that.
Let's stay
as
on
well.
that for a second.
Yep. So this is a tough one. It's a fine line in terms of we were all elected to represent our districts, and as electeds we have opinions on things that are affecting our districts and so on. And we might not agree with each other. Oftentimes we don't. As much as the particular example, I probably do not agree with a lot of the things that were said. I do defend Mr. McVoy's right to have those opinions and share them with the media, so long as we as commissioners are not making representations as, quote, the city. The city is a decision that we make as a body, right? And that becomes the opinion of the city or a decision we made. Our individual opinions, I did an interview piece the other day about a new restaurant opening in the city, and I gave my opinion as to why I thought it was a good thing, and it's in my district. And I think we still should be allowed to do things like that. As we approach these more controversial topics, that's where it gets tough, but I'm in the camp of defending someone's right to have those controversial opinions or opinions on controversial topics, so long as they do not say they are representing the city.
Let me ask you a question then, regarding if someone's wearing a shirt that says commissioner or is addressed on TV as commissioner with something that's a little more controversial than the restaurant's opening or we're gonna have a party, what do you feel about that?
It's a tough one. It really is. I think as a commissioner, we have the rights to have opinions on those controversial topics affecting our district. Personally, I stay away from commenting on situations like that, but I'm in the camp of defending someone's right to voice that, so long as they're doing it as their individual or representing their district. Because in reality, each of us represents our district.
And I agree with you to a certain degree, but it could take and
I'm
Wait,
sorry,
can't
Vice
hear
Mayor,
you.
we can't hear you.
We cannot hear you, Sarah.
I said, when it comes to the fact that it could affect the entire city and any legislative funding that we have, or somebody sending in the National Guard because they don't like the fact that we're coming, against law and order or rules of the federal government, I think that we're putting the entire city at risk. That's just my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Mimi? Or Miss May, I should be more formal.
Thank you. No, you're fine. So I'm listening to this and I get both sides of this. I just think that if you're speaking as a commissioner, it's implied that you're speaking for the city. Even though we can say we're not, I think it's implied that there is a connection to the city of Lake Worth Beach. And so when we say, you can speak for yourself or you can speak, but you can't speak for the city, but you're listed as Commissioner May or Vice Mayor or Mayor, I think that we're not being true to think that people wouldn't think that that would be associated with the city. And I think that as a commissioner, when we speak, we have to be very careful because our voices are not just those of our own opinion. We do end up speaking for other people. And I find that to be a very, very touchy area to step into. But I don't think we can say we're not speaking for the city if it says City of Lake Worth Beach Commissioner Mimi May. So I don't know where we're going to go with this, but I just think that it's naive to think that we wouldn't be associated with the city when we literally are electeds for the city.
Yeah, I don't believe in a policy because I think that's just throwing out the baby with the bathwater. One would hope, when I'm interviewed and the mayor gets interviewed, a lot. And I have been called out by some of our residents that I'm not speaking out against this or that issue right now, but my own, like I've said on the dais, my own personal feelings have to be separate from my feelings as mayor because I do represent the city, and there are certainly consequences that the city I will not bring down on the city because I personally feel certain way. So I don't like a policy on this because Anthony has a restaurant in your district. Sarah has the opening of the whatever, and any one of us we shouldn't be silenced. However, I think we should use some common sense and restraint and be adult. And if you want to speak out against something that's obviously a very controversial national issue, you do it. I wouldn't do it, but I would do it without mayor or a shirt or any identification that I am. I would be speaking as a person, but as in our role as elected officials, we don't have that luxury. We are, like Mimi said, we are those people. We are the elected officials, the figureheads of our city. So, I think, I am troubled also by the Mr. McVoy's comments, the little bit I've heard, I haven't really gone into it, but, you know, I think that that is dangerous for us. I think that's dangerous for us in this day and age. And I think that there are other ways that we can, you know, sort of a little bit, you know, a little self-grand, you know, we all have things we're proud of. We all have things that we have opinions about. We don't have to go on TV to talk about that. So it's a little self-promotion, I think. But thank you for bringing it up. And so, Mr. McCoy, I see your hands up. I'm not going to get into an argument about it. I think you're hearing from your colleagues.
I would like to
Well, I
have
haven't
the
called on you,
opportunity to
actually. I
speak.
haven't called on you, so please don't. So I'm looking for consensus about what, you know, Sarah's brought up whether we should have a policy or not. I don't feel like we need a policy. I don't think Anthony or Mimi thinks that we should have a policy. I mean, so I would just ask for restraint and some common sense. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Anything else, Sarah?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anthony, your hand is up.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I had one question on the fee schedule changes on the consent agenda. And forgive me, I haven't gone through and done my full research on it. We just changed a lot of these fees in October. So are these new fees or are they part of that ongoing changes that we authorized in October? Because I saw on there we eliminated the fees for applications for abandonments and right-of-way things and so on. And I don't remember ever discussing eliminating those fees.
That may have been done before, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't discuss that.
Okay, so I would like to ask consensus to pull that from the consent agenda.
I think we can do that at the meeting, so we don't have to repost it.
Thank you for the heads up. We'll all take a closer look at it, but we can do that at the meeting.
Okay,
But I
and
will
then
certainly
I
take a look at
I was gonna pull it anyway, Anthony. So yeah, we need to talk about some of those things.
Oh,
okay.
we got such a group.
And then I had two other quick things. We had an impromptu kind of presentation that was given in public comment about a tree circle going into Bryant Park. And that's part of that $50,000 that the commission allocated for mini tree forests all over Bryant Park. My concern is that these changes are being made to our park without even a site plan or an arborist plan. The tree circle was put right smack in the middle of the event space.
It's already put in. They already put the trees in?
They did. And I was told that all of this was approved. And I looked at the maps and I looked at the documents I was given, and they're very vague. We
didn't approve that.
And
Sorry.
The specific zone was described in the documents as trees on the north and western side in line with the other trees in that area. A tree circle in the middle of our event space is not. Furthermore, they're not actually trees. They're buttonwood, which can be in tree form or it can be in hedge form. And what they planted were the smaller hedge form version of buttonwood. So if you look at them, they've got 5 or 6 branches coming up out of the bottom. They're cut like a hedge. They're 3 foot tall, 4 foot tall. It's going to take 20 years of not trimming those for those to even develop into a tree form. So I really feel that we need to set a policy. So I'm asking consensus for us to discuss this, to set a policy about this, or give staff direction that no further plantings happen on city property without a site plan and an arborist approval from the city. If you were a resident, and I know because I did this in the meeting in the South Pond Park and got in trouble for it, and you decided to plant a tree, you would get in severe trouble. And I had to work with the city arborist. We had to come up with a site plan. We did. And we funded it and we were allowed to plant the trees according to what the city arborist said. They had to be a certain size. And I feel that we've kind of lost control of this well-intentioned project. It's not that I'm not for more trees in our city, but it's kind of, to me, it seems like a little bit haphazard. So I'm asking for consensus to either discuss this or set a policy to govern this.
Ms. May?
I just want to ask Mr. Sayers a clarifying question. Are you asking that they remove or move the trees?
Well, this tree circle, I don't know. It's already in there.
I mean, I
but
haven't gone down to see it, but if it's blocking the event space, it's going to create a tent-like formation where certain people may hide and make it
Yeah.
more difficult for PBSO to do their jobs. I don't know that I'm gonna go look and see, but if it's something that like, because they said trees, and trees you should be able to see through the base of them so that nobody can hide. And if
this-
it's a hiding place, we did not approve that.
It's in my opinion, it's not big enough yet to be a hiding place. It will be.
Well-
Yeah, I'm kind of of the opinion that this one was a mistake, not done properly. And had it been designed out, it could have been a very nice feature. But
Well, let's take a look at it. I hear what you're saying. Let's, I think we're all gonna go take a look at it, talk to the people that did it.
but I would like consensus that we at least set direction with staff that moving forward, any such planning in the park has to follow our rules. You know,
Yes.
we don't let residents.
We don't know that it didn't. So let's find out the
I
facts.
asked, I did ask staff whether they submitted a site plan for it, and the answer was no. So it does not follow our city rules. You know, we need, when you're making these landscaping changes, businesses and residents, they all have to submit landscape plans.
Okay, I'm gonna call Mr. Brown. I hear what you're saying. Mr. Brown, or yeah, where is
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. And what we can do moving forward, because what was approved when you guys approved that last year with the $25,000 match, the $50,000 total for specifically for Bryant Park, and it was kind of that generic map that kind of showed like the 10 or 12 locations or whatever it was throughout like North, Middle, and South Bryant. If you guys direct us, we can bring, anytime they want to do one of these, we can bring that back to the commission and have it an actual item, an agenda item that you guys approve of that location, and make sure that it has whatever you guys are going to stipulate needs to be part of that as part of that item. Because what got approved is just kind of like that general map, as Commissioner Segers just said. So that's what they've been moving forward with. And while they do is they coordinate with staff, they make sure they give grounds, and the person they use from Smarty Plants, make sure they do the proper locate so they don't dig up any irrigation or anything else we have in the ground there. And then we just kind of make sure that they kind of don't mess anything up as they're doing it. But other than that, they're just moving forward with what was approved. But I don't disagree. There needs to be some more guide rails, though.
Yeah, we did not approve or disapprove the tree circle. We were presented with it as an idea. The things that we talked about that we did approve were the tree, little mini forests like along the paths.
That was one of the locations. There were like multiple locations that were on that generic map that were part of that approval you guys did last year when you approved that 50,000.
And they did get staff approval. Mr. McVoy?
I don't know whether anybody can easily or quickly pull up the mission for the tree board, but I'm a little puzzled that with the recent discussion of how we were going to do tree fees and things, I seem to recall that the tree board mission says that anything tree related, we bring it to the tree board and have them think about it and give us an opinion. We did not do that on the recent amendment or resolution or ordinance, whatever it was, that we recently discussed. And I'm a little surprised that Commissioner Segers, who seemed to lead that charge, didn't at that time say, hey, we really ought to run this by the tree board. I would assume that he would prefer that we had run whatever this tree circle is through the tree board also. We already have a process. We don't have an arborist, to my knowledge. We've had difficulty with getting one, so we're a little stuck on that. We contracted out kind of with a engineering firm, but I'm just curious on that.
And I just got a text from Gail. She goes, "Those trees will grow. It won't be like bushes. People will be able to see through it once the trees get." Anthony?
So, I mean, just really quick, yes, they will grow. It's going to take 10 to 15 years. They're tiny. They're not even an inch in diameter in terms of their stems. So, but not to argue the particular of that. I am asking consensus for us to direct staffs moving forward that they have to present a site plan, and we as the commission have to approve it prior to installing these things in our parks.
It should at least go through the tree board, which
I believe this actually did go to the tree board. I could be mistaken on that. I believe if we are making changes to our parks, it has to be a commission decision. I'm all for planting these trees. Like I said, I would be all for that circle if they put in 6-inch DBH trees right from the get-go and it was a tree circle. It's not. It's a hedge circle. So, and it's right in the middle of our event space. So I'm asking consensus that prior to doing these things, we make them go through the proper process and that we have approval from the commission.
Does anyone, what say you all?
I mean, I definitely agree that that people can't just go plant trees anywhere they want in our parks. So they're, and I'm not saying that these people did, absolutely not.
I asked you, they did go through the tree board. It was approved by the tree.
So
okay.
They followed our written process, actually.
Right. Okay, let me finish, please. You called on me. What I'm thinking is if it goes through the tree board and the tree board approves it, then it comes to us with the recommendation from the tree board.
It's fine. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Sarah, your hand is up.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with what Commissioner May just said. I think that, we ask our advisory boards to give us recommendations, and that would be like planning and zoning approving something and then it never comes before us and then it's just being built. I think it should go to the tree board and then we get the recommendation and we make the final say.
So it makes sense. So we have consensus. Simple.
Well,
Jamie, I see your hand is up.
Just for clarity, yes, it did go through the tree board, and then I understand whether it's the tree board then coming to the commission, but I just want some clarity on what Commissioner Segrich just brought up. When it comes to the commission, after it's gone to the tree board, are you guys consenting that you wanted to actually have a site plan? You wanted to go through 1900 and go through the process and present all that as part, or do you not want to go through that process, the site plan and everything? After it comes from the tree board, when it comes to the commission, do you guys have a site plan and everything else?
I think my thoughts would be that it would, whatever went to the tree, that should be prepared for the tree board. And I don't know that we need to, I mean, when you say site plan, that can go from A to Z in terms of specificity.
But that's not submitted to the, like when they came and presented to the tree and landscape board, that was just a presentation, kind of just a generic kind of going over what the concept was, what they wanted to do. They basically voted and said, yeah, we're on board with this type of project. But there was no site plan. There's nothing that was actually official. Went through the city process though.
All right. Thank you.
So
Anthony?
trying to get clarity on.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
I believe it has to go through the city process. They at least need a landscape plan or diagram for that. That is our process. That is what we make our residents go through. There is no reason why we should not go through it ourselves.
We agree.
I agree.
We've agreed. So we can move on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? We're about 15 minutes. Yep.
So my second item was Troy and Jamie have worked hard with staff to revise the commission assistant role job description and ombudsman job description. I believe all of us received that in our emails. I know I've given feedback, but I would like to get consensus to get a discussion of those roles and potentially hiring for those roles on a meeting ASAP, because I think we need them.
It's a sore subject with me not having an assistant for almost 2 years, is, well, except for Wanda. That's kind of a sore subject because we've been operating without one, and we used to have one, and Mr. Brown knows my frustrations about this. Yeah, we can certainly have a discussion about that. Are you talking about a workshop or a part of a meeting, or how do you want to do it?
I think it needs to be an actionable item of which the result, we are basically instructing staff to post this job or not post this job, and move forward. So I don't necessarily think it needs to be its own workshop. I would just like it on a meeting as soon as possible, so that we can get that ball rolling.
And I think all of us, it behooves all of us to speak privately with them as well before we, take it to the public. And, I just have I don't think anyone's disagreeing with you about that. Is anyone disagreeing with Anthony about that?
I'm not, my hand is up, Madam Mayor, but I am not disagreeing. Given my eye situation, I have not had a chance to physically, I did have Shona print out the description. I have not gone through and read it all, but I will make that a priority in the next couple of days and give my feedback to Jamie and Troy.
Okay. And then we'll have it on agenda whenever the clerk finds us time. Ms. May?
I was trying to lower my hand. Okay. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. I don't think it's going to be a huge conversation. I mean, I think we're all ready to have an administrative assistant, but I think that the ombudsman part's a little bit confusing for me. So I want to read a little bit more about that and see what that entails. And, but I think the sooner we get that on, the better, because we need to put the job out.
It's ridiculous. I mean, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Sarah and I, we were elected
Now.
3 years ago. We've had an assistant for a year and a half.
But in
Mr.
all
Brown.
fairness, Shona has been doing a stand-up job.
Absolutely.
She has
Yes.
done
It's not a,
So let's
Not an
not
issue.
take credit away from her. I
We're
mean,
not-
No, she's
her
been
and-
great.
Sarah, we're not doing that. We're just, yeah.
I
Mr. Brown,
understand, but it's the just people listening, we have had Wanda and Shona, and I'm thankful that they both stepped up.
Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'll have this on either the second meeting in November, the first meeting in December. And you guys do need to have this conversation publicly, because there, I think, is a large difference in opinion as far as what this position should be. And that's why we're kind of struggling back and forth with, is it going to be an assistant? Is it going to be an ombudsman? What should the qualifications be? What do you guys want this position to actually do? Because as of right now, it's all over the place. It's almost like a army job that's going to do everything. And it's like, well, should they have a background and be able to do planning? Should they know about public works? Is it more of an assistant role where they're literally just printing out papers or doing research for you? Like, it's all over the place. So I really need consensus from all of you. What is this position? So we're not putting out the wrong thing. Because right now, just getting all of the information from all of you, it's all over the place. So you guys need to have this public conversation and really tailor down what is it you guys are looking for. Because from what I'm gathering, it's not just an assistant. It's not what Sylvina used to be. It's something more than that. And I'm also gathering that it's not just an ombudsman or the traditional citizen ombudsman. So
Ms. May? Ms. May and then Mr. Segridge.
Oh, I didn't think Jamie was finished. Are you finished, Jamie?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can I bring up a different topic?
Can we just, I think we've agreed to have a public discussion about it. Mr. Segridge, real quick, we're getting on time.
Yep. Real quick. I was under the
I
impression
think Mimi has something she wants to bring up.
it was two separate positions. We have two separate job descriptions, and I would like it to be two separate discussions.
Did we budget for two separate jobs?
We got consensus earlier to explore the ombudsman's position as something completely different than the commission assistant. So
Well, we're going to
Okay.
talk about it. I think we should also talk with Mr. Brown about it privately. Mimi, you wanted to bring something up?
Yes. So we've been getting a lot of, I know I have, and I know that the mayor and Mr. Segridge have too, because sometimes people send information to the three of us and we have to remind them that that's not appropriate. But we have been getting quite a bit of complaints about the cultural plaza and people sleeping and having all of their belongings in the cultural plaza all day long. And I know that it's a public space and I know it's a fine line and I know that everybody's welcome because I want that for our city. But I also I also, the people that live around there and are sending messages to us, they're concerned. They're concerned about their quality of life, and I understand that too. So I don't know exactly, I just want to bring it out into the open that there are concerns about the situation at the cultural center. And I know that there's also situations by the PNC Bank and behind the 24/7, which is private property. And I just, for clarification, we can't go on private property and trespass people because it's not our property, right? That's correct, right, guys?
Looking at the attorney. I mean, it's private. They have to tell them to go.
That's correct. I mean, we can't go on private property. That would be for the property owner to actually call PBSO if there's an issue or trespassing on their property.
And PBSO does have a program, particularly with private property owners, where they can enter into an agreement and people monitor and post and trespass people from private property.
Yep.
Okay, so can we recommend to citizens that they contact the property owner? Is that appropriate?
They can contact the property owner or PBSO. PBSO is always an appropriate party when you're for these types of activities, because they will get in touch with the property owners.
Oh, okay. That might be safe.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, that's good. And that's that answers the questions that we can then bring back to the residents. And I appreciate that. That's the only other thing I had.
Thank you. Yeah, things have been a little hot in Lake Worth lately. 6th Avenue South Dixie Highway, I've noticed a few new girls walking the street. And the question is always is, people say, I never see the police. Well, you don't see them because they don't sit. They have a lot of city to patrol. Mr. Segridge.
I was just going to quickly say, I've reached out to some of those property owners and asked them to join that PBSO program. And if all of us do so, maybe we can get them to join. That's very important. Then people can call and PBSO can do something about it. As far as the Cultural Plaza or alleys and some other areas, we gave consensus several months ago for ordinance changes to help address some of those things. It just has not come forward. If we feel it's a priority, I think we need to give consensus to staff to say that, hey, that's a priority. Get that to the top of the list. So I would ask you guys, do we have consensus?
Specifically, what does the ordinance change?
I think it's section 15. There's an exception written into our ordinances for alleyways, sidewalks, and other public areas. As well as the definition, some of the definitions that can be changed to match our state definition under HB 1365. That would make PBSO's job easier in this regard.
Okay.
I definitely want that to come forward ASAP.
Okay, Mr. Brown's hand is up.
Hi, there are limitations to trespass in public rights of way, including alleyways and sidewalks.
What does that mean?
Because those are methods of transportation, you cannot prohibit someone from being there.
But even if they're not moving, they're not transporting?
So
won't they get run over?
Well, people are not allowed to sleep in public places. You can ask them to leave, but you cannot trespass someone from a right of way, a sidewalk, or an alley. You can trespass them from a piece of property like City Hall or a park, but you cannot trespass them from a transportation way, because they have the right to use that for transportation, and that's its intended purpose.
What if they're obviously, my people have had, campsites set up in the alleys behind their homes. What about that? What do we do then?
We'll talk with PBSO and see what we can do to, make sure that they have the tools that they need. But I know that I just want to make sure that we're clear that we can't really do anything in your ordinance to amend that power because that there is that limitation.
Because I know on a case-by-case basis, if someone calls the PBSO or the city, they will come in, generally speaking, they'll come in and clean it out. But it's, it's too easy for people to hide behind in an alley, like Anthony was saying. Your hand's up, Anthony?
Yeah, I was just asking consensus for us to direct staff to bring that forward, not for an argument on it. I understand there's nuances to this. And just like with our previous trespass stuff, that when I first started asking about it, I was told it's not possible. It's not possible. All of a sudden, it became possible after staff.
Yeah,
were-
we need to get to yes.
So
We need to
we
get
need
to
to
yes
solve the
on this.
problem, and we need staff to figure out how to do that. And I understand there are limitations, but I'm just asking for consensus to make this a priority.
You got it from me.
How
Oh, I gotta
Uh,
go.
oh, okay. Bye-bye. Yeah, we're
Bye.
almost done. Bye-bye. See you later. Whatever. Have a good day.
I
What-
have to go also. I have had a hard stop.
Okay, well, we're almost there now. So, I'll be meeting with one-on-ones with Jamie and Elizabeth today. We can talk about that. Because I don't really know exactly what if you're being told that's something we can't do, we need to find out about that. So, I have no problem with it coming forward. I just want to make sure that our expectations are,
Are we not going to call the consensus vote?
consensus. I mean, Mimi said yes. Chris, Sarah, in terms of bringing it forward. I mean, I don't mind bringing it forward. I just don't know what we
Yes,
can.
that's fine.
Yeah, that's
I would
fine.
like to bring it forward, but there's also dolphins being rescued at our beach right now, so I was a little sidetracked,
I
sorry.
can't hear you. What?
There were dolphins being rescued at our beach right now.
Oh, okay. Yes, I saw that. Okay, so yeah, well, we have consensus to bring that forward. Move it up the list. Okay, it is just about time to go. Does staff have anything they'd like to say? First of all, wait, while Mr. Sword is still here, and Jamie, thank you for an amazing job on Friday night. That was a wonderful event. I'm so impressed always how staff puts time in. Friday nights, Public Works was there, the staff was there, the sheriff was there. It was the kind of event that makes Lake Worth Beach a standout community. Mr. Sword.
No, Madam Mayor, thank you for that. Glad to assist. The estimated attendance was around 2,500 that attended that event. And just a quick update on that dolphin beaching. There was a school of dolphins that beached early this morning. Tremendous effort from Ocean Rescue, Public Works, Florida Fish and Wildlife is on scene. Ocean Rescue Manatee is on scene. Veterinarians are on scene. So it's being managed as best as it could be. It is unfortunate. So just want to put that out on the radar for everyone.
They just beach themselves?
Yeah, the ocean has been in just a very weird state the last 30 days with all the storms that have passed out to sea. So there's been overhead waves out there. We've had the pier closed quite a bit. So it's like an anomaly of a lot of things going on down there.
Thanks for the update. Mr. Brown.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to mention real quick before we jump off. With that quasi-judicial hearing next Tuesday, and what I'm hearing is going to be a pretty large turnout. We have our staff meeting right now at 10 o'clock. We're going to have to see what we can shift off of that meeting, because we're not going to, if that goes as long as we think it's going to go, we're not going to get to everything on that agenda. So in our staffing this morning, we're going to see what we can shift, and we might need to move a few things around as far as reordering that meeting, but I'll let all of you guys know about that when we come to. But some of those items might have to get shifted to the second meeting in November.
Hey, so we're so busy. I talk to other people, they're like, 20 minutes, their meetings are over. It's like, okay, fine. We talk a lot. So I'll see you still at 1 o'clock, or do you want to move our, is 1 o'clock still good?
We're good?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, ma'am, we're good.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and keep up the good work. Thank you.